Hello, fellow cons, and I am very, very sorry to tell you that I've been diagnosed with viral, what is it?
Bronchitis.
Richard Dreyfuss, the Hollywood legend who helped define 1970s cinema with his unforgettable performance in Dreyfuss, just dropped a personal and emotional health update that has sent waves through the entertainment world and sparked deep concern among fans. At 76, the Oscar-winning actor is no stranger to navigating personal battles, but his latest announcement has struck a particularly raw chord. In a video recorded from a hospital bed and shared via Instagram by the SharkCon organizers on the 12th of July,
I've been told by my doctors I cannot fly. I'm terribly sorry because I had planned to be there and had been looking forward to it. Anyone else is sick, and I don't want to get sicker myself. I feel terrible about not showing up.
Dreyfuss revealed he has been diagnosed with viral bronchitis and, due to doctor's orders, can no longer travel or attend his upcoming appearance at the shark-themed convention in Tampa, Florida. His voice cracked, and his expression was one of genuine disappointment as he explained the situation to fans, many of whom had been eagerly awaiting the chance to meet the man who brought marine biologist Matt Hooper to life. Before we dive deeper into what this means not just for SharkCon, but for Dreyfuss's health and legacy, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're into celebrity deep dives, nostalgic Hollywood throwbacks, and the untold truth behind the headlines, this is the place for PR Spin. Just raw, unfiltered entertainment news straight from the source. Dreyfuss's decision to cancel his appearance at SharkCon was more than a professional call-it, was a personal heartbreak. The video, stripped of any glamour, featured Dreyfuss laid back in a hospital bed, looking fatigued and clearly unwell. He struggled slightly with his words, repeating bronchitis with some difficulty before expressing that he'd been ordered not to fly, especially not for the 5-hour journey to Florida. The message wasn't just a clinical update, it was layered with emotion, from regret to sorrow to frustration, all wrapped up in the reality that he simply couldn't do what he had promised. In his own words, he had been looking forward to this event and had planned to be there with full enthusiasm, which makes the news sting even more for his supporters. It's always a tough pill to swallow when a public figure opens up about a health battle, but seeing someone as esteemed as Dreyfuss do so in such an exposed way, no makeup, no staging, just truth adds a certain gravity to the moment. SharkCon was not only a fan convention, but a celebration of Jaws' 50-year legacy. His absence wasn't just about missing a scheduled appearance, it was symbolic of a living chapter of cinematic history momentarily closing its doors. The importance of SharkCon in this narrative cannot be overstated. The annual event is more than just a fan gathering. It's a cultural celebration of all things shark-related in pop culture, marine conservation, and, of course, Jaws. With 2025 marking the 50th anniversary of Steven Spielberg's Jaws, Dreyfuss's attendance was slated to be a centerpiece. The organizers had hyped his involvement for months, planning panels, meet and greets, and special programming centered around his legacy. For fans, this was a rare and precious opportunity. Dreyfuss doesn't make public appearances often these days, and having him headline SharkCon during such a landmark year was seen as a historic moment. That's why his absence cuts deep not just emotionally, but symbolically. This wasn't just a no-show. It represented a painful reminder of time's passage and the fragile nature of the figures we've grown up admiring. Even the setting of his announcement, a hospital bed instead of a press conference, spoke volumes. It showed how real this situation is. There's no Hollywood veneer here, no scripted explanation, just a man facing the limitations of age and illness, apologizing to those who have supported him for decades. It turned a convention update into a cultural moment. The way this news broke was equally telling. Rather than a polished press release or a representative's vague statement, the video came straight from Dreyfuss himself and was posted by the SharkCon team on Instagram. That rawness gave the announcement a deeper emotional texture. In the clip, he greeted viewers with a warm but weary "Hello, fellow cons," referring to fellow convention-goers. The informal tone and choice to film it from his hospital bed showed that this wasn't about optics, it was about authenticity. For an industry that often prioritizes image over truth, Dreyfuss's choice to deliver the message directly was powerful. It offered fans a glimpse into his world, not the movie star world, but the real-life world of an aging actor confronting health setbacks. And rather than keep the situation private, he chose to face the public, to be present even in his absence. That vulnerability struck a chord online, with fans flooding the comments section with love, support, and well wishes. It's moments like these where the human side of celebrity becomes more visible than ever, and Dreyfuss handled it with a mixture of humility, honesty, and quiet strength that left an impact far beyond the convention circuit. His apology to fans was perhaps the most heartfelt moment in the entire announcement. Dreyfuss wasn't vague or distant. He looked straight into the camera and offered a sincere, almost painful apology for not being able to make it. He said he had genuinely looked forward to being there, that it wasn't just a professional obligation, but something he had emotionally invested in. You could see the conflict in his eyes, the understanding that he needed to rest and prioritize his health, and the simultaneous feeling of letting people down. That kind of duality is rare in celebrity messaging. Often, public statements are sanitized and lack emotional weight. But this felt personal. Fans weren't just disappointed for themselves, they were hurting for him. Because when someone like Richard Dreyfuss, who has given so much to film and culture, breaks down and says, "I'm sorry," from a hospital bed, it's no longer about autographs or selfies. It's about connection, about legacy, and about witnessing a human moment from someone who shaped our imaginations for generations. His willingness to be honest was, in itself, a gift to his audience. Throughout the announcement, Dreyfuss reiterated one key sentiment: his health has to come first. That simple statement carried enormous weight, especially in a world where celebrities are often expected to push through exhaustion, illness, and personal trials in service of their public. For Dreyfuss, acknowledging the pain and making the decision to withdraw wasn't weakness, it was strength. He said, "I'm in a lot of pain, and that has to come first," a phrase that's now being quoted widely by fans and media outlets alike. It's a reminder that no matter how iconic someone becomes, they're still human, still vulnerable, and still deserving of rest. And in an era where hustle culture often dominates the narrative, hearing a legend say, "I need to stop and heal," is deeply important. Dreyfuss, after all, isn't just a star from the past days, someone who continues to matter, someone who people still want to hear from and see. His prioritization of health isn't a retreat, it's a lesson in boundaries, something many celebrities and fans can learn from. It also speaks to the shifting culture around wellness and mental health in Hollywood, where taking care of yourself is no longer taboo. This health update also arrives at a significant time in his career, as this year marks half a century since Jaws first hit theaters and became one of the defining films of modern cinema. The Steven Spielberg classic was a groundbreaking cultural phenomenon that catapulted Dreyfuss into superstardom. His portrayal of Hooper wasn't just memorable, it was genre-defining, helping to set the standard for character development in thrillers and action-adventure films. That's what made his presence at SharkCon so meaningful. This wasn't just another celebrity signing autographs, this was a living piece of film history, someone who helped shape the very fabric of popular culture. And that's why the cancellation isn't just about missing an event, it's about missing a rare chance to interact with a man who played a central role in one of cinema's most enduring stories. The timing of his illness couldn't have been more bittersweet. Just as the world is looking back on Jaws with admiration and nostalgia, its last remaining hero is battling a very real and very human health crisis. It's a powerful contrast: Hollywood legend versus mortal fragility. And indeed, Dreyfuss now holds a unique and somewhat somber title, the last surviving member of the Jaws trio. Roy Scheider and Robert Shaw's co-stars in the film both passed away years ago, making Dreyfuss the final living actor from that iconic group. That fact adds an emotional layer to this story that's hard to ignore. When someone represents the final living connection to a beloved era or piece of art, their presence becomes more than symbolistic, becomes sacred. Dreyfuss has carried that weight with grace, continuing to honor the legacy of Jaws, even as time has taken its toll. His illness reminds us how precious these figures are. It's a wake-up call that we won't always have access to the icons who helped shape our cultural landscape. And it's why this health update was met not with judgment or frustration, but with an outpouring of support and reverence. Fans aren't just wishing Dreyfuss a speedy recovery, they're holding on to every moment they still get to share with him, even if it's just a minute-long Instagram video from a hospital bed. Despite everything, one thing is clear: Richard Dreyfuss's legacy remains untouched. While this illness may have taken him out of SharkCon this year, it hasn't dulled the impact he's had on film and fandom. If anything, it's amplified it. The flood of tributes and memories shared online following his announcement proves that his work still resonates deeply with people of all ages. Younger fans are discovering his films for the first time, while older fans are reliving the magic he brought to the screen. His honesty in this difficult moment has only strengthened the bond between him and his audience. It shows that even now, 5 decades into his career, Dreyfuss still matters perhaps more than ever. His name still commands respect, his performances still inspire, and his personal journey continues to connect. Whether or not he makes future appearances, whether or not he returns to public life after this illness, his place in Hollywood history is cemented. And for that, he deserves all the love and support being sent his way. Looking ahead, the hope is simple, that Richard Dreyfuss makes a full and speedy recovery and returns to doing what he loves, whether that's making occasional public appearances, participating in panels, or simply enjoying his well-earned rest away from the spotlight. His fans, his colleagues, and the entire entertainment community are rallying around him. The cancellation of his SharkCon appearance, while disappointing, is being met with compassion and understanding. Organizers have already expressed their well wishes and are keeping the door open for a future appearance should he feel up to it. Until then, the focus is on healing. This isn't a farewell, it's a pause. And in that pause, there's space for reflection, for appreciation, and for gratitude. Richard Dreyfuss has given us decades of unforgettable performances, moments, and memories. Now it's our turn to give back with support, patience, and respect. Because legends like Dreyfuss don't fade, they endure.